Hi, I'm Rich Newbold, Game Director on Planet Coaster 2.
And I'm Adam Woods, Senior Executive Producer.
We're so excited to be showing you even more about Planet Coaster 2 in this second deep dive. In this deep dive, we'll be showing you how we've been expanding upon our amazing building and customization tools in the game.
What are we waiting for, Rich? Let's dive in.
For those of you that don't know, Planet Coaster 2 is a creative management simulation game about building your dream theme park. We've got coaster parks and water parks combined in the game now. And in this deep dive, we're going to show you how we've been taking those amazing building tools and building upon them. We're going to jump in and build some amazing stuff in game.
Yes, I think the first thing we're going to look at is the path tool. We're going to have a look at this development build, one of our work in progress levels that we've got. And we're going to perhaps continue on this theme park that's got the very early beginnings of a path system. Yeah. We can improve that, can't we, Rich?
Yeah, it's really basic to begin with. Don't really have anything for our guests to enjoy, but foundations are always the paths. So that's one of the things we've been looking at in-game is the path system, and building upon that from the first game, we've got a lot more tools and options for players to build with the path system. So in here we have our line builder, we have a kind of a tool that's based, it feels very much similar to the path builder from the first game. A draw tool that's kind of a freeform building tool, and stamp builder as well, which allows you to build those geometric looking plazas. We have a rounding tool to allow you to soften some of those harder edges that you might have from that. The customization brush that allows you to take the look and feel of existing paths and apply that to bigger areas of your parks, and the edit tool, which allows you to adjust the borders and adjust the way that your paths and plazas look on the outside.
Yeah, the rounding tool and edit tool really give you that fine-tuning ability once you've placed them down. Perhaps a more advanced feature, but super useful, aren't they? We're going to use the line builder, though, today to carry on this path system that's already at the beginning of this theme park. I want to ultimately end up somewhere over here with a bit of a plaza. Maybe we can make a bit of a display, but I won't give away too much on this on the early part of that. But yeah, we'll work our way over there. So looking at this line builder, there's a lot of options here, isn't there?
Yeah, we wanted to give a lot more creativity and customization options for players as they're building their park. So you can adjust things like the line style, if you want it to be naturally curved or you want it to be a fixed straightness, how you want it to conform to the terrain, how you want the connection type to be when it connects to existing paths, the width of the paths, if you want fixed lengths or you want a kind of a loosely unbound length to your path as you're placing it, as well as snapping tools. So if you want to build geometric looking shapes with the line builder, to making sure you've got those angle snaps in place as well.
Including like the way the camera will behave as you're placing the paths around.
Yeah, just allow you to fine tune how you want to use this tool, because it's a tool that you'll be using quite often in your parks, and it'll give you a lot of fidelity and control over how you want it to look and act for you as you're building on it.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb and say that our park is going to be really popular, really busy. It's already got quite a wide path here. I reckon that's going to be good for congestion, so I'm going to increase our line width and keep that going while we build out to this plaza out the end here. I'm going to make sure it's on the curved option because I want to sort of curve it around this corner. I'll just give it one click and then the second one down. And that's it. I've built my path in 2 clicks.
Yeah, nice and simple.
I can then quickly switch to the stamp builder. I'm going to go, octagon. We've already got the stamp scale up at 3. I can drop it down to 1, but I want, again, I believe in our park. I reckon it's going to be busy. So I'm going to just rotate that stamp a little bit, get that to snap onto the end of that path. And then again, in a couple of clicks, I've now got this nice open wide path leading to this plaza area that we could do lots of different things with. I could place some shops down or other things as well, couldn't I?
It's not just about the different ways that you interact with the tool, it's how you can also adjust the way your paths look as well. So we have lots of different textures and options for you to kind of change the way that you want the style of your paths to be. So we have lots of different path styles, different types of paths. Some of these options have the ability to change different colors as well. So you can adjust the color of individual things. So this is the blue swirly path, for instance. You can change the blue to a different color. So you can keep the style, the feel of the path on some of them, but also change the color as well. Make it embed in with your theme there if you want, and then a lot more creativity and freedom for you as a player.
One thing we haven't actually spoken about as well is the delete tool. This has got a little special thing that I actually use quite a bit. For example, I know in a little while I want to place a display in the middle of this plaza. I think that's where I've got it in my mind. I want to place a little display, but I don't want them walking through it. I want to sort of reserve that area. So I can use the stamp tool delete, select the octagon. I'm going to drop the size down just a touch, and then I can just place it over sort of roughly in the middle. I can make it not so rough if I want to spend time actually doing it, but for now I'm just going to sort of eyeball it, and then I can just cut out that piece of path, and then that now becomes perhaps an area that I could put some interesting bits of scenery to maybe make a little
dress it up and
dress
nice.
it up. Yeah,
real nice.
Do we want to talk about the draw tool? We talked about it a little bit. Should I show how quick I can draw something out?
So this is a tool that I really like. I really like the flexibility and the freedom it offers you is the ability to just very quickly draw that outline and create those plazas really quickly with a few clicks.
Just here, just create it. That's one of the different materials you were talking about before. And then I could just connect this up if I wanted to. Using the draw tool again, I could just right over the top connect it up. That's our now connected path. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of them for now because I want to just focus on this little plaza area.
It's nice little thoroughfare. Very nice. Yeah. This area is really nice. Got our paths in place, but I think we're going to need to get some pools and flumes in place for our guests to use. So why don't we show how you can use tools very similar to the path builder, the path tool, to build a pool for our guests to enjoy.
Here we have the stamp builder, which will, place down a pool just like that. Just one click. There I have a pool that if I connect up to the path network and have the correct facilities available, changing facility, the most important part of a water park, as well as the guest services, then they could jump into the pools.
And these tools, very similar to the path tool, similar kind of options. Some of them are specific to the pool builder. So whether you want certain depths, whether you want them to have pathing around the edge, or whether you want that kind of infinity feel on the pool as well. So very similar tools. We built those to feel very similar. So line builder, the draw tool, the stamp builder, all exactly the same pretty much as the path builder. So it should be nice and intuitive for players to build those water bodies for our guests.
So it's really easy to do so. Let's use the draw tool here. I've got it on curve. I've got the edge type for path. I do want to have pathing instantly around this pool, and I'm going to have the swimming depth, which is good. And then I'm going to build it kind of close to here because then I don't have to do too much work to actually connect it up to the rest of the pathing network. And then using the draw tool, I just start my line out here. We're going to go for a bit of a sort of classic kidney bean shape.
Yeah, it's a very good looking pool that you see in a lot of backyards.
Yeah, lots of nice sort of curves. There we go. And then because I drew it close enough to the original part of the path that we just placed down, that actually now is automatically connected. I don't actually have to do anything else. Guests will be able to navigate across that pool and use it if they are in the right conditions, where they've changed into their swimming suits and they've got their pool pass as well ready to go.
Okay, so we've got a pool in place, but as you say, we need to make sure that our guests have the infrastructure so that they can actually start using it. So we're going to need things like guest services and changing rooms. Some would say they are
I would say the change rooms are definitely the most important part.
So I think using some of the blueprints that we have, the empty shells, allows us to theme up an area really quickly into one of the amazing new themes that we have in the game. So an aquatic theme, and then we need to add guest services. And now that guest services is open, we have a vendor already in there ready to serve our guests as they get ready to come into the park.
We want a facility shell. I'm going to use the other slight style of aquatic look. Let's look for under facilities. I need the changing room. That's that shell. There we go. We now have two lovely themed looking facilities ready for the guests to use. Yeah. They can purchase their pool pass here. They can change in. They're already coming. Look, they're ready for it. They can change into their
keen swimmers,
pool enthusiasts. They can change into their swimming shorts, and then they can dive into the swimming pool.
But we don't just have pools in Planet Coaster 2. We also have flumes, and we have a range of different flumes that you can build. I think we should build a body flume.
I think so.
My favourite kind of flume.
Yeah. First thing to do is to place down the flume platform where you can actually build more than one flume from these platforms as well, and they are sort of modular in nature. I could attach more to this to expand that platform as I want to, if I wanted to fit quite a few flumes on.
Wide platform with multiple flumes coming off it. If you want into the same pool or different pool bodies, you'll have a lot of flexibility on where you want those flumes to go.
For now, we'll just have the one, because I'm only going to put one flume on here at the moment. You will see that we have different options for this particular flume as well, including the rather lovely vertical drop piece. But we won't use that one today. We'll use a open flume with the bar style at the top, I think. And we're going to place that just on that edge of the pool there, platform, sorry, there. Now I have my first piece. This is very similar to how we build roller coasters in Planet Coaster 1 and how you still build roller coasters in Planet Coaster 2 as well. All piece by piece, lots of flexibility here. I can change the length at which I want the piece to be placed down, really giving me that flexibility in creating those turns and tight twists that I want to. And with this flume as well, I can create lots of undulations as well as
going side to side. You can go up and down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we also have a range of different visuals on you want the flume piece to be. So you can have an open flume and closed flumes that have a higher side. If you want transparency on your flumes as well, whether you want them to be a half pipe that's transparent or an enclosed body flume that has transparency as well. So lots of options for you to create really good looking flumes, as well as adjusting the color of those flume pieces as well. So if you go for the open flumes or the non-transparent flumes, you can adjust the colors that you want as well. So you'll be able to change the way that kind of stripy pattern looks as well.
Let's do. I'm not a flume engineer. Okay, I just want to put.
I can confirm that you're not.
I'm going to just put a nice big curve because I really want to show off that lovely central cantilever support that we have in the game. Again, kind of leaning back to some of that authenticity. You get a lot of this at water parks where there's some pretty impressive engineering going on with flumes. Let's aim this to finish in the pool for now as well. Let's bring it down a little bit. Maybe a little touch more. Oh, I can't because I've got the clearance. Let's drop them in from a height. There we go.
It's a good height. That's an enjoyable height, I would say. You know, just as you get into the end, you get that feeling of, oh, where's the pool? There it is.
We're done constructing. I need to place an entrance. Another quite iconic look of a flume. I think it's quite iconic anyway. Is this sort of tower stairway that you get as part of the flume towers. So that's part of Planet Coaster 2 as well.
Yep.
You can choose to select a different gate type, where if I just want the gate at the top of the platform and then build my way up to it, or perhaps it's already at the top of a hill or something like that, then you can choose to do this way as well. But we have got a bit more of a traditional placed flume platform here, so I'm going to place these stairs down. That then gives me the ability to connect this bottom gate to the rest of the path network, which I will do. We don't want a really wide one now. Let's bring that back down to 4 meters. We'll just connect that nice and simply to that one there. Blue to show that it's off to go to a water park.
That's a great idea.
Ride. Thank you very much.
And just like our roller coasters and our rides, we have to test it to make sure that it can be completed, that our guests can actually get from the start to the end.
Absolutely.
This will generate the excitement, fear and nausea values for this ride, and our guests will then assess whether that's a ride they want to go on, and if this flume is too exciting, too fearful, too nauseating or not. And the guests that will find this appealing will get changed, and they'll find their way to the flume.
I think it's passed its test. I think it's ready to go. I'm going to open it up, at which point a ride attendant also appears now as a staff that I need to manage. Need to make sure that they're kept happy. Perhaps we'll be talking about that in another deep dive. But for now, we've got our ride attendant. The flume can be opened, and guests they're already checking it out. They need to be in their swimming costumes ready to ride it though, so we'll see if anyone else turns up. The other thing to mention, it already is quite a striking design with that lovely kind of purple palette, but I can change that. We have 4 colours that run down the flumes that I can then quickly update to any colour that I fancy, and then it will update the segments as it goes down to it. So for example, I could change this one to entirely red if I feel like it, by just changing all four slots
Good idea.
to red, and then we've now got a nice striking bold colour for my flume.
This flume's looking really busy, this flume platform, but I think we can get another flume on there for our guests to enjoy. Our pool's starting to fill up as well.
Before I add that flume, I'm going to extend the pool as well, just to give it a bit more capacity. I'm going to
it is looking
build.
quite busy.
It is getting busy. I'm pleased with that. I'm very happy that they're liking it, but I don't want to add too much to it without giving it a bit more space. Let's build a new part of the pool. I'm going to use the stamp builder, and this time I'm not going to have the paths. I'm going to have it as the infinity pool. Rotate the shape. We'll just add it in. I'm going to have the flume coming out that side. I'm going to add in the pool here. I think that's enough. I'll just add one. I don't think it needs much. We'll just add it in, and I'm going to bring that flume around here kind of thing. So we'll just add that in. But you can see how quickly I've extended this pool just with the stamp tool. It all creates and merges in lovely, and you can see that edge now that doesn't have the path. Obviously guests can't navigate around it, but that perhaps gives me the ability to kind of shut parts of the park off that allow them to swim in it, but not necessarily where I don't want them to walk around it as well.
And you can dress up the edges of that pool really well with the scenery pieces as well, of kind of dressing up that area if now your guests aren't able to use it.
Let's go for the body flume. The game has detected that I've already got a flume platform in my park as well. It's defaulted now to giving me a starting piece to add to this platform. If I didn't, it would default to the platform itself. I can still access that platform here, just select the station platform tab, and then I could place a second one if I wanted to start it anywhere else. But for now, we will add it in here. Should we add the vertical drop piece?
You teased it earlier. I think now's a good time to use it.
Let's do it. Let's place it.
It's a great one because you get that feeling of when am I going to go? When am I going to get drops?
I'm going to drop them off here, and we're not going to give them. Traditionally, they're quite a big drop. I'm going to give them a little bit of an easier ride here. I'm just going to ease them in here. We'll run them over this section. We'll start to pull it up just a touch here, and then I'm going to. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. Across the pool, and then we'll give them a little curve over this side, just like
this flume.
That.
Nice and simple. You've got your nice special piece to start with. I think it should have a special piece to finish with as well.
I think so too.
A lot of the flumes have different special pieces. They have different end pieces as well that are special. So they might have run out lanes or end pieces such as the plug bowl. So I think this one, I always like the plug bowl.
I do. Yeah.
It's a great one to finish on.
We're going to use the enclosed one this time as well. We saw on the last deep dive, I think, the open one, but this time we'll use the enclosed one. That gives them a bit more of a exciting kind of end to the ride. They're suddenly plunged into darkness in a good way. We'll add that on. There we go. So now we have our second flume that's ready for testing. Let's finish that one and let's test the ride. We always check out a test dummy first of all. There we go. And then they end up in the pool. There we go. We've passed our tests, so we can now open that up. And this staircase also feeds, this whole platform feeds both flumes now. So guests will choose to go on one of them and they can access it from the same way. So I don't have to do anything else. That flume is now entirely open and ready for anyone to use.
Perfect. And that attendant's making sure that everything's working well on that platform as well. And our pool is filling up with people that are really enjoying these wonderful flumes that you've built.
There we go. We've got a guest already enjoying the vertical drop piece, ready to splash into the pool. There we go. There she is. Fantastic.
Now this part of the park, we've got our flumes in, but it's looking pretty empty of things like scenery. So a big part of Planet Coaster 2 is the creative tools that we have for creating these wonderful parts of your park that are themed, that have dressing to them. So I think we should kind of dress up this wonderful plaza area that you made at the beginning with some of our scenery pieces. So we have, in our scenery section, we have blueprints. So we have lots of different pieces from the themes that we have in Planet Coaster 2 that allow you to quickly dress up areas. So we have just like that.
Just like that.
The aquatic centerpiece can be right in the middle of that gap that you made earlier.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. It's also got some singing eels on it as well, which is one of the many animatronics coming in Planet Coaster 2. Let's pop that just on the side because I want Fish Beastie in the middle.
Okay.
But don't tell the deep dive viewers just yet.
Don't tell everyone. Okay.
That's what
I'll keep it to myself.
talking of Fish Beastie, should we put him in?
Yeah, it's the first you mentioned of it. So as well as all of the blueprints, you have the ability to put down all of the pieces individually in just their position, their rotation. Some of them have scaling. As you mentioned, this one is an animated scenery piece. The blueprints are our creations of connecting all of the scenery pieces together for players to quickly dress up areas.
Yeah.
But you can put the pieces down individually. You can also do things with the wall sets and use the grids to build those kind of shops in a nice grid-aligned way as well.
I've got something in my mind that I want to build.
Okay.
And I want to
I'm
use
going to let you...
one of the new tools to help me with my creativity.
Sounds great.
As well. I want to build a little scene that kind of demonstrates Fish Beastie in his most kind of...
His glory.
His glory, all his glory, yeah. And I want to give him his moment to shine. I want to build a little... Where are the jets? There we go. I want some jets around him. Let's say we have a couple like that. Now that looks quite nice. I'm quite, you know, that sort of gives...
I feel like it's beautiful.
It's a nice little centerpiece, but it could be made better by the new event sequencer, couldn't it? I think.
Exactly. So the event sequencer is a new tool for Planet Coaster 2 that allows you to create these sequenced events. That it's a timeline that allows you to then take things like the animated scenery, the VFX, the particles, and trigger them off in our timeline. So you can add objects to this timeline. We can then adjust the timing that we want of them to cover.
So I can multi-select using the add objects section, which was in that event sequencer you just saw. It's here. I've got all my pieces that I want to connect. Fish Beastie, and then the 4 large water jets. First of all, I want to make sure that Fish Beastie is doing the animation that I want. So it's on trigger only, definitely, and I want him to do his ascend and roar animation. So that's what we're going to set him to. We'll then open up our event sequencer. So that's what Fish Beastie is going to do. He's going to ascend, and then he'll do his roar. And that bar is then telling me that's how long that animation is. And what I want to punctuate the roar. So I'm going to move the jets just down the timeline a little bit. So the idea is that when he roars up,
that's right. And you can adjust the length of the effect of the jets as well. You can really time it with those animated moments.
So we can see that he starts to roar around 2.5 seconds in. Let's move them lined up with that. Simple as just picking them up and dragging them across. And then also the roar is quite long compared to the initial water jet. I want them to stay on for much longer. I'm going to have them stay on for probably, what will be 2.5, 8, so somewhere about 6 seconds, I'm going to say. Let's just do it at 6 for now. Let's change all of them to 6. I could change them to different lengths if I want to. I could also stagger them if I wanted to kind of have them sort of come on sequentially.
But you're going to have them all come off.
But I think I'm going to give him the opening he deserves. I can preview it as well, so I can have a quick look and see if it's a little early, but I think that's about right.
Looking really good though.
I think so.
So that's the event sequencer that allows you, we can put animated scenery, you can put the particles, you can adjust some of the options such as on some of the particle effects like the fire, you can change the color of those effects.
Yep.
You can change lights and have those turn on and off as well in the event sequencer. And you can also on the rides and the coasters connect to an event sequencer. So when a ride is in the middle of a sequence, having an event sequencer connected and that firing off particles at a certain point as well to, as you say, punctuate those amazing moments that you'll have in your park.
Give Fish Beastie the display he deserves.
I really like what you've done with the event sequencer around Fish Beastie. They're looking really good. They're getting that glory that they deserve, but this area is looking pretty empty.
Yeah.
I think some greenery demonstrating how we've got a new scenery brush in Planet Coaster 2 that allows you to very quickly put a lot of greenery down.
So I think that'll be scenery bit
something to show.
Scenery brush, you say?
Yes, please. So in this brush, it allows you to choose different presets that we have of different rocks, different tree combinations, and very quickly place them into the landscape and bring a drab area that's quite empty and fill it with lots of lush life if you'd like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have all of these options. You can define how big the brush is, how intense all of the pieces in that brush is, whether it avoids the paths, whether it aligns to the surface. If you have hills and rocks and overhangs, whether you want it to be aligning to that surface and coming out at the kind of the angle that your hill is, or your overhang, or you want it to be kind of vertically straight up, when you want it to ignore the scenery that you already have. So it will conform to, or not conform to, the things that you've already got. So you get that flexibility. Here you've got voiding the paths on, and it's avoided that bit.
Exactly. I can drag it across here, but it won't place things down the path. So it's a way for me to be able to quickly and easily place things down, but not kind of go, oh, whoops, I put loads of trees across all my paths. But then maybe there's a point where I do want that, because that's what the creative side of Planet Coaster 2 is about, is kind of giving up the choice to you as the player. You could turn that off, and then maybe you can make some interesting paths and areas of the park as well.
Yeah, and I think this is a very powerful tool for putting lots of scenery pieces down, but these are individual pieces as well. So this allows you to then go in on each individual tree, individual rock, and move them and adjust where you want them to be, and give you that fine tuning of where you want it to be actually in your level.
And of course, we can't forget about scaling as well. Whilst I can move it, I can rotate it, I can do all those sorts of advanced movements as we're used to. I can also now scale it. So it's sat at 90%. I can make it smaller if I want to, or I can also ramp up the size if I really want that to kind of stick out and kind of really be a focal point of this area. And that goes with all the non-grid, non-animated scenery pieces. You can scale them as you want to. Yeah,
it's really powerful for giving you that flexibility, that creativity that you want to have in Planet Coaster of creating these wonderful theme parks, these wonderful areas for your guests to enjoy, and really going to detail in what you want those areas to look like.
Exactly. And of course, you don't place them down just with the brush. You have got access, as Rich has already said, to even place them down from the very beginning as individual pieces as well, to really give you all flexibility and how you want to place them down.
So we've got infrastructure for a pool, we have a wonderful path, we have some wonderful flumes, we have our fish beastie getting a glory in the middle of our plaza, dressed up. But I think one of the key things that we're missing in this level, in this deep dive for Planet Coaster, is probably a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's fair.
So why don't we build on from scratch and show how we've added a lot more tools to the coaster building, a key part of Planet Coaster. So we're going to build a roller coaster for our guests to enjoy.
I think I'm going to place the coaster in the back of the park here. We've got a big chunk of land that's looks like it's ripe for placing a coaster and building it here.
Great idea.
I think so.
It's perfect space for it, really. Lots of open area. That's what we need for a big roller coaster.
We do have a selection of blueprints available. That means you can just select the one you want. If you've got enough money, if you're in the career, or if you're in Sandbox, obviously, and you've got the unlimited cash, then you go for it. You can place that down and you connect up to your path system, and away it goes. But I'm going to build it piece by piece today. I'm going to select the...
We have lots of coasters to choose from.
Lots of coasters.
Yeah, it's a good selection. Lots of different types of roller coasters.
Dark Kinetics looping, that's the one I want to build today. Let's get the station placed down. I'm going to send it out that way, kind of down there.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring it back around.
Yeah, I like this coaster. It's a good choice. It loops, it inverts.
Yeah.
I mean, when I said I like it, I mean I like to build it in game. It's not the kind of coaster that I would like to be on. Both looping and inverting are things that I will not get on with. But I really like this one in game. It's a really flexible one to build with. You've got the different options. We have a lot of special pieces as well as our standard track pieces, trim brakes, and lots of control over how you want it to be propelled, how you want it to slow down through the different sections. Mm-hmm. You're a pro coaster builder. Compared to myself, anyway.
I think my skills along the lines of flume building are sort of similar to my coaster building. I'm not too bad. I mean, I guess I'm opening myself for criticism and feedback within this deep dive. I will showing people I will always
praise
skills.
Your ability to build a coaster on camera, under pressure. It's not an easy thing.
We're talking about some loops. Let's get a little loop in here, shall we? Actually, I just want to go back one. Let's add it.
Make sure you got that entry speed.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to get it up. I think I'll just scale it down a little bit. I think I'm going to have enough entry speed. Now we can, of course, test it while I'm building it to make sure it is going to make that loop. Go over to the test. I can start it, and the coaster will start its testing loop, and I can continue to build whilst
see all
it's...
see all the values calculating for the excitement, fear, and nausea as it's going up as well, giving you that feedback on the lateral G-forces, the vertical G-forces, forward G-forces, all those things that kind of all weave together to build the prestige of a ride, how popular it will be for your guests.
Yeah. Let's just see if they're going to make it over this loop, and if they are, then I think I'll call it a day there. I'll connect up to the station, and then we can perhaps customize the car.
No, I think I really like this special piece. It's really good. I think maybe there's some other special pieces, maybe a roll, this one we could have.
Pretty good, yeah.
This coaster has loops and rolls as its special pieces. Some of the other coasters have different types of special pieces in them. So depending on the coaster, you'll have different special pieces available for you. So this one, loops and rolls. Some other new coasters have special pieces such as switch tracks and drop tracks.
Switch tracks and drop tracks, okay.
Which are very exciting. They are brand new for Planet Coaster 2, something we're really excited to bring to the games to show those amazing pieces inspired by real life rides as well.
All right, let's just give them a little bit more of a drop at the end here. We can see the testing is still going on in the background. Maybe give them a little bit of air time as well. Let's shorten that track.
Get that feeling you get in the belly.
I love it.
No. And coaster building, there's a nuance to how you're building things such as the banking as well, making sure that feeling as you're coming into a corner is nice and smooth. And in the game, we've added more control of that as well. So once you've connected this piece up, we can show how you can edit the smoothing, so you can adjust the type of smoothing you want. So we provide you with tools that once you've built some pieces, you can adjust with a simple click of the button and just smooth off those rough edges you might have between doing the piece by piece. If you've got connections or corners that are kind of not smooth, these new options for Planet Coaster 2 allow you to control that. If you want to smooth the banking, or you want to just smooth the height or the turn, or you want to smooth all of them at once, you can select the pieces that you want to smooth, adjust the strength, press a button, and it'll ease out some of those bumps that you might have if you use a tool like the autocomplete, which doesn't take into that kind of stuff.
No, absolutely. That's what I've done there. Yeah, exactly that. I used autocomplete here. I've also, put this together very quickly. I'd want to spend a lot more time if I wanted to really fine tune this with all the tools that you've spoken about already.
Make it just a perfect experience.
I'd probably want to put some braking on this section here because they don't have to come into that station pretty quick. I don't think even I would want to ride that one, but I can do that. We have the pieces available to really customize it exactly how you want that.
And this will matter for your guests and how much they're going to enjoy that ride as well. So making sure that it has those feelings and that you want to have in real life as well is a key part of the authenticity of the guest experience as well in the game.
And the very last thing I want to do is customize it as well.
Brand new for Planet Coaster 2, the ability to customize your coaster cars and your rides by attaching scenery directly to them, and they'll move around the coasters and the rides attached with them as well. So what's the piece you've got in mind to go on our...
I'm going for the pineapple from the resort theme, just because perhaps that could be this could be the start of retheming this coaster into a kind of, I don't know, a punch shack or something, like a nice crisp tropical drink. I could perhaps theme it into one of the brands in Planet Coaster 2 as well and kind of make a whole element of this side of the park. But for now, I'm going to attach this lovely looking pineapple sign to the front. You can see we've got the highlight underneath the car. That means that it's going to move along with the car. It won't stay in place. It will actually animate along as it goes around the track. And I know that it will then do that if I was to apply it to this car. It will then move to that one. But I'm going to stick it to the front here. As we were saying before, I can also have access to my advanced move tools, including that new scaling tool as well. It's a little bit big at the moment. I want it to kind of feel like it's come out of the factory, being manufactured with it, as part of the process. I quite like it. We'll add that into the side there. And I want to add something to the side. One of my go-to creative options is the new light bar from the resort theme. I really like the look of this.
It also fits really well along the side of a lot of the cars. And if it doesn't, quick adjustment with the scale tool means that it'll scale down or scale up quite well as well. So it's a really versatile piece. I can see why it's your go-to.
I want it on the other side as well. I don't want to hand place it. I can if I want to. I could duplicate that and move it across the other side. Or I can use the symmetry tools that we have over on the end tab here. I can say I want it mirrored on that side, which then adds that piece. And if I was to move the original piece, it moves the new piece as well. I could also say that I want it to affect the rest of the cars in the train. And if I had a second train on this coaster, if I'd built the station long enough, I could make it affect all the trains on this coaster as well, really easily. So that was a deep dive into some of the new creative and construction tools coming to Planet Coaster 2.
In our next deep dive, we'll be showing you more about our new management features in the game. We can't wait to show you more.
Thank you so much for watching.